Bam! What's going on, everybody? Oh, how about what's going on with me? Sorry about that. Hey, everybody, Johnny O and Plot Hole and all that stuff and good times. And I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be on a film set. Some of you may remember from Tuesday. Stevie, I see you with the tridents. That's right. We're all tridents here. Remember that. Never forget the terrible, terrible tridents we are. There, Charlie Welch finally got it. Mike, there it is. That so did Mel Rodin. Very good. I figured I'd leave it just because I know it'll piss off some people, and yeah, whatever. Anyway, I was supposed to be there, so it didn't happen. The shoot was postponed to a later date. They had some issues with some talent, and then some crew members couldn't be there, so they went ahead and moved the shoot to later this month, which, that's fine. I really wanted to shoot something, though. Film shooting. YouTube. Chill out there, guys. Who we have here? So many folks. Elite Liv says first. We are going to talk about. Every time I say I'm not going to cover the guy unless he does something just egregiously stupid. He just does something egregiously stupid. So all of you content creators out there, you're welcome. Okay? You're welcome. I just conjure it out of thin air. I don't know what I do. I just say it. Whatever. It's a fucking joke, of course. Doctor Who Design says hi. Hello, Raven Darkstar. Good to see you. Jason Hyatt. Good to see you. Bass here says hello, Johnny O. Hello. Rack the Jipper is in the house. No doubt another touchdown by the Plot Hole's coming up. He steps to the plate. The kicker kicks the ball. He swings touchdown. That's right. With my football bat. Absolutely correct. 100%. Can't argue with you on that. Who else do we have here? We got some folks. Vlad the Impaler is in the house. We can call off the Blackhawk helicopters. He's safe. Good to see you, Vlad. Omni Oros Boros, who's been a Plot Hole crew member for 1 month, says, love you, Johnny O. Thank you so much. Love you right back. You guys are awesome. Elizabeth Sylvester is in the house. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. S. Buford, good to see you. Nemo 813, hello. Cap Bell's in the house. Bandon has become a new Plot Hole crew member, and I see there he also has upgraded his membership to the Headbanger. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Mayor in the house, good to see you. Casey Cooper, good to see you. All right, Charlie Welch. Hey. Frayed Edges says, yo. What's up, everyone? I'm currently on board a UFO heading back to Earth. UFO, what the hell? How come I didn't get to go? Man. Gosh. Spellbinder 101 says, happy New Year, dudes and dudettes, and especially the bearded one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, I do see that there are some other folks that are live. And you guys decided to come check me out, and I appreciate that. Makes me feel happy. Donna does that. Good to see you. Let's see here. Sandy D in the house. Kimmy Dawn is in the house. Vixter T, Lady Firebrand. Steve 6464. Alan Killian says Chilito is live in 15. Oh boy. Charlie, I promise is going to be brief. I actually wanted to talk to you guys about something a little bit different, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. Nightman's wife, if I missed you, Crystal Karen, I see you there. If I missed you, just at me and I'll say hello. Vert the Frick, I see you there. And Brooke, I do see you. Hello. Don McGrew Anderson, hey, Johnny O. I love to come here and be with you all. Thank you so much. All right. Bannis has been here a year plus, not sure I was on sub, and it happens. YouTube does some weird things, man. There's some people that I've been following since I don't even know how long, and I'll, somebody's like, yo, you didn't see my live, or you didn't see my video, and I did not get a notification. I go back to their channel, and somehow I'm unsubscribed. Makes no sense. YouTube does some weird shit. Mr. E-Man, good to see you. All right, let me pull something up for you folks. See if I'm sure you guys remember this one here, but we're gonna go ahead and show it to you. What is this? Oh, helps if you do get rid of the things. All right, so we're gonna share the screen here. Boom. Don't worry, I won't trigger line me this. I'm sure you guys remember this lady. United States. No. I'm sorry, I thought I had skipped past all that, but apparently I didn't.
You have to do what I say. I command you now to leave my sovereign property. I command you now to leave my property. Fill out those forms on the table.
Both forms on the
Please,
table. No, we want to get. Of course, this is the part where she had been drug away in handcuffs, but I didn't show it YouTube, so don't demonetize the video. Yeah, same spell. Yeah. I had to pull it from my video because she apparently it got deleted from her channel, so she had to lift it from my channel to put it back on her channel, which is perfectly fine. Whatever, I don't give a shit. Yes, this Anna Mana Pia Bay. What does he actually call herself? Anawa Ihaiwi. Well, I'm gonna go to jail soon again, I'm sure. Anawa Ihaiwi Bay. That's what it is. Some dumb shit like that. I don't know. Like, this lady is off her rocker. Okay. Well, she she did end up going to jail for a bit of time there. And I guess she got out recently, but she didn't contact me. She started commenting on one of my videos. Let's see here. It was actually a pretty funny exchange. I had a good time. So I started covering this crazy lady with the whole fictitious shit when she went into City Hall and started in on City Hall employees demanding they turn her Wi-Fi back on, her internet, right? Demanding they turn her internet back on, and her, her electric bill and her electricity and all that other shit. And, the thing is, if you don't pay your bill, they turn that shit off. It's kind of the way it works, right? Anyway, she, I don't want to Hawaii Bay here. You not solve blah 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 blah. Just regurgitated all this shit. She didn't live at this place anymore. She also got booted out of that apartment. That's what that first video I showed you was. Got booted out of the apartment. She's not a soft. She's a Moor. Yeah. Moors are just there. It's like a different subsect of sovereign citizens, right? Because they call themselves the sovereign, and they have the same kind of mantra that they don't apply. It's just a very specific sect of the sovereign citizen movement. You get that Devon Bay idiot who he's just. My goodness. Yeah, the military was coming to City Hall for the courts martial. Yeah, exactly. This lady's off a rocker. Anyway, so she she left a comment on the video where I just laid into her for making people's lives just that much more entertaining. Anyway, she says they follow my orders. I say job well done. No, they didn't follow your orders. No, it went on, right? I saw it. I woke up this morning. I had a notification from YouTube, and I saw that it was Anawa Ohio Bay, or fuck her name is. Anyway, so yeah, she decided that she wanted to try and get into this diatribe. It just goes on, and on, and it was fun. Like, put it on the corner and merry-go-round goes. She's just Mr. Bay has lost his mind, but this lady is so far off a rocker. Well, because YouTube is what YouTube is, I found this. So remember, Miss Queen Sovereign whatever. That's what she is, right? She's a sovereign Moorish American, blah 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 blah. Well, apparently on TikTok, she's a thirst trap. At least she's trying to be. Okay, she's trying to be a thirst trap.
How can I lose if I'm already toast? Like,
just no, we're not gonna. Why? Why? Okay, so anybody out there who might be pulled into this trap, this thirst trap, she's fucking bonkers. Okay, she's out of her mind, and just don't do that. Don't look. I don't wanna. We all have to do it. We all have to pay taxes. It's the way it goes. We all have to abide by certain rules. Just the way it goes. Mr. E-Man, I did see that you gifted 5 plot hole memberships. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. So Dennis Rodman finally transitioned. Ooh, Chaos Warden, you're going to be in trouble. I'm going to tell her you said that. My wife is a lovely, lovely woman. She's outside playing with our youngest right now. Yeah, Lolly, that is her. She is yeah, nuttier than a squirrel turd. And I don't even think that really that doesn't really encapsulate the amount of insanity. I've got a few videos on her. Go check this shit out. I thought it was hilarious. I thought the fucking lady's crazy. Crazy in the head, crazy in bed. That's just science, is Ed 209. I am not willing to find out. That's just a level of crazy I don't want in my life. I just don't want that level of crazy. I'm not going to do it. She cracks me up. She does crack me up. So, here's the thing. She's not nasty about it in this comment section. She doesn't get all nasty. She doesn't name call. Not well, a little bit. She did accuse me of stealing content, and I said, "Oh, really? Stealing content, huh? Stealing content, and that's tell you need to learn how fair use. We'll just add fair use to the many things in law that you don't understand." Hey, Keith Newton, you are not late. You are right on time, and she is fucking bonkered. What is a thirst trap? Says Saturday's Child. Apparently, a thirst trap is somebody, usually a woman, on TikTok. There's some men thirst traps for the ladies too, I'm told. But apparently, it's like whenever they do this thing, and then they turn and they, like you're showing their butt or their ass or titties or some shit. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't get it. It's it's the kids like it. The kids these days, they just enjoy it. That's coming home to a pot on the stove. I don't know if that's the kind of pot we want, though. Well, maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe we do. And again, no shame. You do. Victor T, what do you disagree on? What are we disagreeing on? Let me know. I'm curious. Lady Firebrand for $2.99 odds. He says, because you introduced me to new nut bar levels. There's some really look. At the end of the day, when I started this channel, I wanted to have some fun. And yeah, I'm going to poke fun at people, right? People who I disagree with, people who I think are just being silly. I'm going to call out bad behavior, but I want to have some fun. I want to bring these, we'll call them misguided individuals to the table. And we'll talk about them and, point out some of the things they do in crazy. Oh, the crazy in the head, crazy in the bed comment, says Victor. Yeah, like I said, I'm not willing to find out. I'm not going to take one for the team and find out. It's just not going to happen. Nope. Whoa, says Jonathan Montero, says Johnny's a thirst trap. I have never, ever been called a thirst trap. Although when I was in high school, I did have another high school girl check out my butt and tell everybody that I had a good butt. That was like that was like the top of my high school career as far as my goodness, that was years ago. Nowadays, not so much. It's just no. Misguided is full tilt wacko. Absolutely. Yeah, Charlie Welch, she says you wear balls in your face. What's funnier than that? Exactly. Up and out says I still haven't figured out what a thirst trap is. Let me see if I can find let me see if I can find one. Oh, they'll probably pop on my For You page because that's just the way. Jesus Christ, you're loud. Don't be so loud. I don't know if I'm going to find one. No. Who knows? I just pick up TikTok. And if you're a guy, TikTok finds out that you're a guy, you will soon be bombarded with thirst traps on TikTok. That was the first time I downloaded TikTok. I'm not a huge TikTok guy. I don't do a whole lot of TikToking. It's more for the kids, so, whatever. Anyway, so the first time I opened it up, that's what it was. It was a bunch of thirst traps. It was a bunch of women coming up, and they were like, whatever, conservatively dressed. And then all of a sudden, they're like fucking, they would do like a hit 808 beat or something, right? Some like snap of the fingers, or they'd slap the camera or some weird shit, and then be half naked, right? Boom, thirst trap. That's what a thirst trap is. Up and out. Yeah, I'm generally not on TikTok much either. But anyway, it is what it is. That's what it is. Lord KJW says, I will never use TikTok. I don't like using TikTok. It's fun to keep up with some people. There's some people on TikTok that I don't, that are okay. There's some fun. It was like there's this one lady called Mama Tot, and she's got to be the sweetest person in the fucking world. If you ever do get on TikTok, or if you ever want to check Mama Tot out, I think her name is, I think it's what her TikTok name is, but she is the sweetest person in the world. She's super nice. Hey, Raven Darkstar, good to see you. So she's fun to listen to. TikTok is for letting the Chinese play spyware on your phones this Saturday's child. It's possible. It's probable. But here's the thing. Everybody talks about, they're going to start tracking me. That these people are going to track. We track ourselves. We tell everybody. Pick the phone up. People are like, checking in. Facebook. I took a shit today. Facebook. Instagram. It's, come on. They don't need to track us. We track ourselves. Chili isn't on TikTok. No, he's not. He was talking about going back, but he can't go to TikTok because they don't like him. And I'm just kidding. How likely are you to recommend this Windows PC to a friend or colleague? It's my Windows PC, so now that I have it. Enough said. All right. As things go, I was sent something, and we're going to skip. I promise, Charlie, I promise I'm not going to talk too much about this. But I wanted to show this particular video because I thought it was hilarious. And a lot of people may have already seen it, and that's fine. We're going to look at it, assuming I can find it. So let me find this. Here really quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay, cool. There it is. Let me see here. Where did I put this video? No. Why is it not where it's supposed to be? Son of a biscuit. Pink sauce. I don't know anything about pink sauce. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Here we go. Yes, I'm sorry.
Make sure everything's working.
No, not everything's working in that car. You got two phones and a laptop, and you're driving, and the shit behind your brain, it doesn't work. So we're gonna skip ahead. I gotta remember where this is. I think this is. We'll find it. Don't worry, we'll find it. So Toledo thinks it's cool to go, do his thing, and he's in a I think he's in a sheriff's office or court. I think courthouse, possibly. I can't remember exactly where. Where is it? What the fuck was that? Saturday Child says, unfortunately, I have an Android phone, so Google knows what color my undies are. I have not, Chaos Warren. Send me a link. I'll definitely check that out because I'm not a huge fan of Logan Paul or Jake Paul. Not a huge fan of the Pauls. Where is it? I need to find it. I think this might be right about here. Okay, we're going to check this out. Here we go. Sorry, Stevie.
I support everything you're doing, but
okay, cool. So we're going to back up
how much they're actually used. I would love to get access to the cameras that are in here, and then be able to see how much this whole computer little console over here is. It's nice to.
The funny thing is about Roshan, the funny thing about what you want, Chili, is you can do that. It's called a FOIA request, and you can just pick a date, and there you go.
Have a computer for sure, but we just put so much money into police departments, put so much money into.
So he's literally bitching about services that are available to the public at the police department. That's what he's complaining about. He's complaining about the building being so nice. He's complaining about the fucking. It's just, my goodness.
Into these Death Stars that are going to arrest you. They're going to arrest your family.
They're
going
to
arrest your brother. They're going to arrest your best friend. They're going to arrest somebody. But when you walk in, it's so nice. I mean, nice.
What does that have to do with the way the building looks?
And you don't get access to any of it.
You can literally sit down at those computers and have access to those computers. I mean, you sit down and You do the thing, and then you have access to computers. Interesting. And Chili, if you want access to the jails, I'm sure they can make that worth your while. I'm sure we can arrange that.
You only get access to the very bottom, the celebratory pictures that I wanted to see of the captain and the lieutenant and the major. They're up there.
Yes, they're up there. And my dogs don't like this guy either.
That's what I wanted to see right there. Right there. Right there. That's what I wanted to, To be honest with you, I didn't even know what the Nevada flag.
Sir?
Yeah.
Can we be a respectful conversation?
Oh, you want to have a respectful conversation?
Yeah,
Sure.
if you can.
Go ahead.
Take me off camera.
Oh,
I
okay.
have rights too, just like you do. I support every.
Now this is funny because this lady's coming over saying, "Oh, I support everything that you're doing here," which I think is hilarious. Having a respectful conversation, and one of the reasons why people get a little out of sorts when dipshits like this go to courthouses and film is because there are some very sensitive things that happen in courthouses that have to happen in courthouses, right? And look, I get the whole freedom to record and blah 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 blah, all that. I get that, right? I understand that. And the only thing I've ever said is just because you can't do something doesn't mean you should, right? Good night, you. Bye. Somebody said you were the Yoda or the Grogu looking over my shoulder.
Who, me?
Not you. My wife. Anyway, excuse me. What's up, Teresa Flaubert? Yeah, no, we don't need to do that because again, some very sensitive things happen. And see, this is a wife.
I look like Grogu?
Not at all. Not at all.
Love you.
He. Anyway, so you've got sensitive information, sensitive things that are happening in these courthouses. Generally, sometimes they're going to be involving, children, right? Which is what this lady's going to talk to this fucking dipshit about.
Everything you're doing, but this situation is very, very sensitive to my family.
Oh, you got secrets you're telling over here with the copper? I can go away so that they don't hear your secrets. I don't want to
It's not
mess up.
secrets, it's personal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just your stuff is your stuff. Yeah,
It's my daughter's stuff.
Let me walk away from you so you can have your moment.
I'm asking you if you can stop filming while we're having ask personal questions.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're walking around here filming and you're not being very respectful. Get me off of your camera.
Well, you're starting to kind of melt down on me, and
Because you're not being respectful. Even your terminology when you're saying what you just said, secret, sir. Something happened
Well,
to my
your own
13-year-old daughter.
personal.
Take your camera and go outside for about 10 minutes and show her some privacy. Then come back in here and continue everything you're doing. Because everything you're doing, you have the right to do, but my daughter deserves rights too.
Let's not yell at each other.
And please show my daughter some respect and take your camera outside before I go to jail for breaking your camera.
Yeah, buddy. That's right. Chili found the wrong one. Now, this is the important part. This is the part we wanted to see.
What? You're gonna break my camera?
Excuse me, you're allowing this.
Whoa.
Watch this. Watch the level of fear.
I'm willing to walk. I'm willing to walk.
You're allowing it.
Whoa, did you guys anticipate this? I did not. I'm willing to walk away.
But you're not though, because you're still standing there using stupid words like secrets when it involves a 13-year-old child.
Okay.
Get the fucking camera out of my fucking face now!
And this is where he runs.
Wow.
Now!
Sure.
She's 13.
Oh, okay. I'm over here.
Now! Do you not have
I'm over here.
children?
I'm running from
Do
you,
you
lady.
not have children?
Ah! I'm scared right
You're
now.
not helping society, dude.
I'm scared right now. I'm getting away
Get
from
the
you.
fuck out of here with your fucking camera. She's 13.
Whoa, it was
Now!
Whoa, it was a switch, wasn't it? That was a switch. Went from like know your rights to I'm willing to go over here. I'm willing to stay away from you.
He's got his camera too. You were asked.
Okay.
You have no respect for children. You have no respect for women.
And that's what the alpha does when confronted with someone who does not appreciate his bullshit. He's a douchebag. Look, I get it. You have the right to record, blah, 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 blah. But this lady's absolutely correct, right? So she has every right to be infuriated by this dumbass's action because you don't do that shit. You don't fucking look. Maybe he didn't know. Cool, don't know. She says, "Hey, go away. I'm trying to handle some personal business." But ooh, you want to keep your secrets? You keep your secrets. Yeah. Okay, she wants to keep her secrets. How about you just fucking walk off and let her deal with her family situation as dignified as she can? Because this is obviously, it is a very touchy situation for her. You have no idea what's happened to her daughter. You don't know anything. You don't know what's going on. You just know that there's somebody there who you are aggravating. And before the frauditor fuckers come in here talking about, well, she shouldn't be aggravated by a telephone, blah, 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 blah. Go fuck yourself with that shit. Because again, she's in a courthouse trying to take care of some very obviously sensitive things with involving her children, her child, 13-year-old daughter. Maybe her 13-year-old daughter was victimized by who knows what, could be sexually assaulted. You don't know. And when you have somebody who has that big of a reaction, instead of making fun, instead of being a douchebag, instead of being a pedantic little fucker, just walk away. Just go. Just say, oh, you know what? Look, hey, I'm sorry. Turn my camera off. Fuck off. Let me know when you're done. I'll come back and do this thing. But that's not what he wants, right? This son of a bitch. He wants the negative interactions. This lady gave him exactly what he wanted. He clicks and views for his bullshit. Angel Rivera says, who's been a plot hole crew member for 4 months, says, what up at the plot hole? Hey. And yes, this is another interesting thing here. She is a taxpayer utilizing the services she paid for. He's an internet vagrant. He needs to go. Yeah, right. And that's another thing, right? So people talk about, well, I pay taxes, so I have rights, blah, 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 blah. Well, she pays taxes too, and she has the same rights. And here's the thing. My rights end where your rights begin, and vice versa. That's how that works. And when people get together and say, we don't want fuckwits like this coming in here doing this, eventually that's going to make its way up, and there are going to be laws that are passed. Some of them will be challenged, rightfully so. Again, going back to Arizona House Bill 2319, that was in direct response to frauditor intervention with cops, with police stops, with traffic stops. It was way too far too over. It was a terrible bill. It was hastily written, way too vague. Level of interpretation for that bill is insane, right? Again, if you want to film police officers, do so to your heart's content. Do so at a safe distance from your, from the accident or the interaction, and the police. Just be good about it. Cameras nowadays got good zooms. I can't get in close enough. Zoom in, fucker. And if you want to get in close enough and put yourself into a situation where you're going to get yelled at or going to get snapped, then deal with that. What's up, Commander Darklight? I see you there. I have a YouTube channel that covers kayak bass fishing. That is cool. Every time someone incidentally or otherwise ends up in a shot, I always ask for permission to use it. It's a matter of respect for others. Absolutely, Barry P. That's the thing. People talk about, well, I have the right to record anything in public, and where I don't want to get into the nitty gritty, the legality of it, but there's a little bit, there's something to be said about like public photography and public video, when you got a family that's out and about and they're taking pictures with the family and it's in a public place, right? The intention of that law in that application, I think, and again, I could be wrong. I'm sure that someone, if I am wrong, someone will, hey, no, you're wrong about this. It was in direct, response to whatever. But the application of the public photography law, as I understood it, or I still understand it, was more to protect people who were in that situation, that scenario, out and about, just taking pictures, and somebody happens to be walking by their camera. I wasn't intending to take a picture of you. I was taking a picture of whatever, the Grand Canyon or Grauman's Chinese Theater, whatever. And I took a picture and you happen to walk by. Sorry, whatever. But, because you're in public, no expectation of privacy in public, right? That's vastly different than taking a camera out and to any of these places, especially private businesses, and fucking, oh, you got to respect my right to record. Like, son, fuck off, man. Right to record. That's great. You have a right to record, but you don't have a right to commercialize my image, right? Now, it's a little bit different because of the public figure status, as loosely applied as that term is to someone like me, but it is a thing, right? So I don't necessarily have the same expectations when it comes to monetizing my image as somebody else, you know. PhD Tony says, like any innocuous activity, filming people in public can be taken to excess. Yeah, it really can. And you got to think about it, right? So, how you got to think about this. So, let's say we're at, you know, I'm at a, what do we think? Like a museum, right? I'm at the Fort Worth Art and History of the Science Museum, right? And it's a public place, right? It's publicly accessible with admission. And there's a school field trip of 10-year-old kids. Now they're out in the same place that I am, right? The Fort Worth Museum does allow pictures and video, right? Okay. Does that mean that it's cool for me to walk and follow those kids from the time they enter the building through all the different things? I mean, for auditors, if you have children, are you going to be cool with that? Somebody following your children while recording them? No, of course not. Absolutely not. It's stupid. It's just a dumb thing to do. It's a fucking creeper move, and you're probably going to get your ass beat, especially in Texas. PhD Tony for 5 Ozzy says, "You're calling me a public figure. Is that a fat joke?" Yes, it is a fat joke. What's up, Dave Malik? And NAN is in the house. Lois Peterson says, "Where in the Constitution are the words video or photo found? I can't find it." Right. So that's kind of a funny thing that you talk about there. Because, yeah, obviously they didn't have video back at the time that they were framing the Constitution, writing the Constitution. But the thing that I find interesting is people say, well, you can't change this, you can't blah, 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 blah. But yeah, nowhere does it say these things. But that has been legislated outside of the Constitution, right? So you can't have it both ways. You gotta sometimes they get frustrated talking about these asshats, especially the ones that want to say, well, I'm a member of the press, blah, 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 blah. No, you're not a member of the press. Just because you're an asshole with a camera and you have a blog or a vlog doesn't necessarily make you a member of the press, doesn't really make you news. Okay. There's an ethical standard there. That's what irritates me the most. These fools don't acknowledge the ethical standard. And of course, I'm gonna go. I need to videotape this building because I'm doing a story on the building. Okay, cool. What's your story about? What are the 5 tenets of your story? What are you investigating? What are you covering? Where is the public interest in the things that you're specifically going after for this building? And if you are here for that, why didn't you seek to speak with groundskeepers, the city manager, or whatever the building is, the people who are in charge of the building? Seek those people out and interview them. I think that would be an excellent piece to any kind of story on the building, because it's not about the building. It's about you being an irritating asshat. That's what it's about. And it's just say, hey, look, I'm out here being a fuckwit. Can we just be a fuckwit? I want to be a fuckwit. And then we're like, all right, cool. You can be a fuckwit. Raven Darkstar says the Constitution doesn't mean squat without the laws backing and changing. Absolutely, right? So OG Fist says, but you're using logic. That's true. That's true. We got to think about this. Yeah, public relations, Cat Bell. That's probably the thing I should have said to make sure that encompass all of it. Squirrel and fucking. What was I talking about? Jeez, what was I going to say? Ethical standards is Barry P. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Ethical standards. What's up, Juggernaut Jerry P? That was my point in the fishing thing. Ethical standards of putting people on that may or may not be okay with being in a YouTube vid. And that's the decent thing to do. Now, I'm not necessarily Tony, I don't know what that means, but understood, I think. You know what I mean? Squirrels. I got to get somebody here to like, I need to take a look at the thing and then tell me to feed me, just talk to me. I need to get my chili headphones that tells me to breathe in, breathe out. I'm just kidding. Squirrel. Yes, ethical standards, right? It's a decent thing to do. And I understand, like, if you're out and there's a whole shit ton of people, like, hey, I say, no, it's not going to work that way, right? So there are things you can do. You can just fucking say forget about it, or you can go and kind of do the best you can to blur out some people. Ben Franklin was more of an Instagram fan, would be horrified by these Tim Talk people. That's true. That's true. Oh, jeez. Blurple Dragon in the house. What's up, buddy? Mr. Andrew, good to see you. Squirrel. Yep. Uh-oh. We might be in trouble. I think we are in trouble. It's the other fat guy. I mean, you're not fat. Nobody say anything. Let's see how long it takes Tony to talk.
Well, you were sort of spiraling on my end, so I didn't know I was in yet. But hello, how are you?
I am doing very well. It is good to see you, Tony, as always.
Thank you. Good to see you. And Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. How are things going in the Aussie land that apparently doesn't exist?
Well, things are going reasonably well. Still got problems with lightheadedness and that sort of thing, but such is life, apparently.
That just means that you should be able to petition you guys have a prime minister? Or do you have?
Yes, we do have a prime minister.
Yeah. Petition the prime minister so you can import 2 Swedish nurses to help you out around.
Sounds like an excellent suggestion.
I think you should get all over. You should get on that. Like, you should type up that email with your typewriter.
We did, yeah. Been a long time since I've used a typewriter, I have to say, but yeah, I'll get right on that. I'm sure. Well, his name's Anthony, so he should sympathize.
Exactly. See, even better.
I've got an in. There.
You are so in.
Yeah.
You're in like sin. I'm telling you. Just be all over that shit.
And yeah, so the point you were just getting to was, and you're very welcome, J5, for Rupert Murdoch. Yeah. I personally
think J5 might be being sarcastic there.
And hello to everybody. Vert de Freck, Lady Firebrand, Blurple Dragon, WWL, WD, WL TV, and Lolly77, who is always very kind to me. Elizabeth Sylvester, they're both very, very kind to me. Robert Biter, and the point you were raising earlier, just really just don't be a jerk. And this is the thing that kind of gets me about all of these people, is that they're just jerks. Like, they claim that they want to be doing something constructive, but they're not. They're just being jerks, and kind of, being a jerk will sometimes get you consequences that you don't want.
Yeah, absolutely. Like some lady yelling and screaming at you to stop being a fucking jackass.
Yes.
Rightfully so. And that's the thing. I've said it a bazillion times. You want to film in public, fucking film in public. I don't give a shit. Just don't be a dickhead about it. Because we all know that at the end of the day, it's not filming in public that you're trying to accomplish. It's trying to accomplish some sort of negative interaction, because that's what people like to look at.
Well, it's what Lady Firebrand. I also live in Canberra. The issue is that they're trying to maintain a YouTube channel, and they're trying to maintain an internet presence, and this is aided by controversy, by conflict. They need bad stuff to happen. They need to. Hello, Raven Darkstar. Yes, that is an insult to jerks, but I can't think of a better. I can't think of a better way to describe it. They're just being dickish, and then they're unhappy when people react badly to it. It's just not a. It's understandable from a marketing point of view, but it doesn't achieve anything other than being a jerk or a dick.
Right.
And if you're going to do that, eventually somebody's just going to wind back and clock you. And it's actually a good thing that people can react like that, because that tells you when you've crossed the line into just absurdly antisocial behavior. And I kind of think that there's at least one climate denialist that I know personally who just hasn't been punched enough.
That's awesome. It says that the camera is bait to start a conversation, which is absolutely true. You see it with that fucking Amagansett Press douchebag. Like, he does this shit. He'll find a little strip mall center or a place with a bunch of businesses, and he'll walk up to their fucking doors and, like, take the camera with him and show that he's taking pictures inside of the building with the camera. Why do you need to do that? If you want to get if you want to get pictures of the store, why don't you just walk and say, hey, look, I'm a journalist. I'm covering this town. It's like part of my travel blog. Can I get a couple pictures of your spot?
And you notice, if they're asked, can I help you? Who are you? What are you doing? They don't answer.
Usually very snarky when they do. It's like,
they just give these facetious non-answers.
Right.
That do not, obviously when you're doing something that the person doesn't understand, they're going to experience some level of anxiety about it. So, just calm the situation down and tell them what you're doing, and why you're doing it. But they don't feel that level of social responsibility. They don't want to unwind the situation. They just want to aggravate it.
Exactly. So, now, Taipan23 says Amagansett Press was outed by one of his own people that he stages his videos. I would like to see that. I would like to see the evidence of that, because I'm not convinced that he stages his videos. Maybe some of them, but not all of them.
Well, I mean, I don't really watch that much of his content. I don't. It's like sort of the flat earthers. I don't actually watch flat earther content because they don't have anything interesting to say. So I only sort of absorb any of this stuff secondhand.
Right.
But it's so I don't know who this guy is, but I'm certain there are some people who do stage their videos, but it's just ridiculous. Like the stuff that they get up to is completely antisocial, and it's a complete waste. It's dead weight, is what it is. It does no good to society whatsoever. The stuff they claim that they're achieving, they're not achieving. They're not even progressing the conversation towards what they're achieving. In fact, they're an unwelcome distraction. So
Blurple Dragon says Auditor Troll said Amagansett Press actually goes into a place first, cusses people out and gets them all mad, then goes outside and films. And then there's some other people talking about that they have it like Taipan, and says that or a couple people say that there's video that Kick and Auditor Troll have. If you guys have the link, I would love to see this shit. Okay, if you got it, we'll watch it now. Actually, somebody sent me a link. Send it to me on Discord. If you're a mod, put it in there. Let me see it. I really want to. Like I said, that shit would not surprise me. Number one. Number two, I think it would be fitting to call that dumb shit out as often as possible, because he's one of the most disingenuous fucking pieces of shit on here.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they aggravate. They do But we've seen that before. Like they do edit what is available through their videos. This is like Chili when he was confronted by Kate, was making sure that his violent confrontations with Kate didn't show up on his video. So we know that they manipulate what their audiences can see,
Right.
and there's no reason to believe that they don't do that by choosing when they start recording, and even by editing stuff. So I wouldn't be at all surprised by that sort of behavior. Like it just seems, it just seems like it would fit.
Good night, Cat Bell. And then Mr. Andrew brings up Luna, talking about auditing the USA. Glenn Seria, who just 7 days ago released a statement on his community page talking about, I'll just read it for you. It says, "Hello, family. Yikes. Look who just returned. It's been quite a long time since I posted content. Wonder why. I've taken an extended vacation." You were in fucking jail, you dumb shit.
Yes, well,
I guess that's a vacation.
that is a vacation. You don't have to cook. You don't have to,
Right.
you don't have to go to work. Not that I think that Mr. Serio has.
Yeah.
Oh God! Somebody's saying that Chili is live again.
Again? Oh man. Only if you really want me to, we can live debunk everything he's saying. I don't know what he's even talking about. We'll take a look at it maybe. Let's see. Anyway, I've had some insane encounters I would love to share with everybody very soon. Well, the insane encounters happening in county lockup, I'm not sure we want to know about those. You do what you got to do to survive in county, whatever. This guy. Because our work, we are winning. There have been more than 20 misdemeanor charges dismissed with prejudice and even one felony charge. I'm curious to see what he's talking about with this shit.
Are you still reading Glenn or?
Yeah, Glenn Serio.
Yeah, well, I mean, the sort of public prosecutors need to make decisions about worthwhile uses of public resources, and whether or not it's worthwhile prosecuting this person for the idiotic things he does, whether or not it's worthwhile, it's money well spent. There's an element of responsibility there. So he treats it as a success that this is not occurring, but I think it's just somebody making reasonable decisions that they're not going to blow their budget on this dickhead, who is, after all, just irrelevant and insignificant.
He really is. So I'm told that Chili is trying to grift off of the young lady who was, if that's what's going on. Oh, fuck. You guys have done it. You know what? It's supposed to be my birthday. And
what?
Well, it's Sunday, really, technically, officially. It is Sunday, but I was just going to stream today for the birthday, and now you guys want me looking fucking Chili. All right, let's look at Chili. Sorry, Charlie, we've been outvoted.
Yeah, sure. You lack any. You and Charlie lack any capacity for self-governance because you are victims of what? Peer pressure. That's what
we are victims of peer pressure. Let's see here. All right, I don't know. We can start here. We're gonna play this guy faster than normal because I can't stand him.
Where are we at? Are we live? What's up? What's going on out there in the land of YouTube? What's going on, YouTubers?
I will say I will congratulate him on taking his glasses off because he hadn't quite figured out the green screen thing, and whenever he wears glasses, he would get weird phantom shit in his glasses because of the reflection. But
YouTubies, I'm going to show you guys some stuff today that I don't know if I want to go over on the audit first or if I want to go over Dion's video first. If you guys got the thumbnail and you take a look at this thumbnail, it is really, really crazy what you see here. It is
because what you're looking at when you see it, you're looking at a guy who is so highly intelligent, this gentleman named Dion, that he works for the Wall Street Journal, and he.
Let's skip ahead.
Dion Ramon, okay. Can I find you? Okay, this is ridiculous. This is the most obscene thing I think I've ever seen.
Off by this cop, and
you know what I find funny here? I find it funny that Chili is taking someone else's video and doing what he has copyright struck many other people for. Interesting.
It is interesting. It's almost like he doesn't have any self-awareness whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Taipan23 for 2 Aussie dollars says, well, then happy birthday for Sunday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And look at how the cop is manhandling this man. Look at how he's manhandling him. This is absolutely insane that this is our country and that this is allowed every single day.
I'm fine where I am. I'm not doing anything wrong. You know,
Do you want to get arrested as well? You're not doing what I say, when I say, how I say right now. Have a right to detain you. And the whole point of this whole video is that this is a Terry stop. This is a Terry stop. Somebody called and said some guy was at the door at the bank asking questions. He's a reporter for the Wall Street Journal. And then the cop got there and looked at him, obviously racially profiled him with his hair all done up, and he has a pick in his hair, and he's wearing just relaxed shorts, just being a regular human being. And so he in his mind just put the guy in torture cuffs.
Okay, so stop it there.
Yeah.
So this is a bunch of empty assertion. I've seen no evidence whatsoever that this guy is any sort of journalist. I have seen no evidence of what happened in the lead up to this confrontation. And actually, this guy simply doesn't look like he's a journalist. And if he is a journalist, he certainly doesn't look like he's acting in a journalistic capacity, unless he's doing some sort of undercover thing. There's nothing here that suggests that the narrative that Chili is providing is in any way accurate.
Yeah. So let's for the sake of argument, let's table that for a second. I want to talk about what Chili does here. Now, what Chili does is he takes something that has happened in the past, right? We are, all of us are painfully and well aware of racial profiling that has happened
Yes.
by the police before. He's taking the fact that something has happened, and he's asserting that it happens all the time, that just because this gentleman is black, that's the reason why he's being arrested and detained.
Yes.
Is it possible that's what's going down? Sure.
It's possible, but it's equally possible. The man is a journalist. Well, was he there acting as a journalist? Saturday's Child says that the man is a journalist. Was he acting as a journalist? Being a journalist doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't doing anything criminal. We don't have any evidence. We can't determine whether this is a valid arrest and he's being treated validly or not. Maybe the officer is guilty of malfeasance, but I can't judge it based on the evidence presented here.
I won't judge it based on what Chili tells me, simply because Chili has such a hate boner for police officers that everything he says is going to be skewed with that hate boner. By the way, what's going on, JL? Speaking of hate boners.
Tony, good to see you.
Good to see you, JL, and happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Mm-hmm.
We are one beardsman away from the 4 beardsmen.
We are
Somebody wake that Irish.
We are one away from a 4 of a kind. Do you think we should we draw to the 4 of a kind, or should we just let it sit with the 3?
Yeah, or as Irish Demon has taken to calling it the 3 beardsmen and Tony.
I noticed that.
Tony's got a better beard than Irish Demon. That's all I'm going to say.
He does.
Shots fired. Mel Ronderos for $4.99 says, you and my son and Elvis share the same birthday. Happy, enjoy the day. Yes, happy birthday to your son as well. And I do know that I share that same birthday with Elvis. My mother almost named me Elvis, and I'm so glad.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Angel Rivera. Thank you for that. I just dropped the part 2 of the Tom Brown look today, so I was really, really pleased with how that came out. And I was actually able to, throughout the course of that video, I was actually able to drop in an allusion to Chili in it as well. as far as conspiracy theories go. And, yeah,
I need to check that out. I haven't seen it yet.
good.
Really quick. Sandy D, $5 says, pretend this super chat is a $5 bill inside a birthday card.
Aw.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know you have it because neither you, because but the beardsmen don't ever come to my premieres.
That's not true. I was at the last one. I was the last
yeah. How long ago was this? How long ago was the premiere?
Today,
Yeah. How long ago in hours?
2 hours ago.
2 hours ago. Really?
Yeah,
I
7
didn't get a
p.m.
notification for that.
it's YouTube. Yeah, it's YouTube's fault.
Well,
No, I get it because YouTube sucks with notifications.
They're weird.
They're terrible.
Barry P says, Wall Street Journal says-
I just didn't know. Sorry, I would have been
No, it's
there.
okay.
Don't let him make you feel guilty. This was the last time. No, I'm just kidding.
I do that in the chat. I'll type. I'll be like, at the no, he's not here. At PH, nope, not here either. At I, nope. At T, nope, he's not here either. So,
Fuckers. Barry P says, Wall Street Journal says it's true. Dion Raboon, whatever, was cuffed but not arrested. Just saying. Okay, there you go. So he wasn't arrested.
So he was detained.
You know, why do cops detain people?
So they can conduct investigations.
Oh. So you mean somebody calls up and says, hey, there's some shit going down and this person is causing the shit. So cops comes out and he says, all right, we're going to hold on to you for a second because we need to figure out what's going on. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Sometimes it, whatever. We're going to argue the reasoning behind it, argue whether it should be happening or not. That's a different thing. But a cop comes out, says, okay, cool. I need to hang on to you for a second because you are a suspect in this complaint. You need to figure out what the fuck is going on. Oh, wait, there's nothing going on. Cool. Let him the fuck go.
Or you could be a material witness. They need to figure out if you are a material witness. So.
And he said he was acting as a journalist at the time. I'm kind of curious to see what he was.
We have been denied a lot of information about the context here.
Yeah.
And exactly what the complaint was. Because even if he was acting as a journalist at the time, that doesn't necessarily mean that he was comporting with the standards. The fact that he was released, it's entirely possible that Chili's in fact right, that he was racially profiled, that this person was put in cuffs unjustly. If that's the case, then the officer needs to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
Nobody's saying otherwise. But the reality is that Chile has such a bad record as far as this is concerned that he is not a credible source of information of any sort.
None whatsoever.
He's as credible as Alex Jones.
And that means, let's get back to the nonsense.
Chocolate bone broth will make you strong and virile. No, it won't, Alex.
Oh. Yeah. You can even tell, like when he took a drink of that shit, he was all, "Oh, that's good.
That's good." It's like,
you guys remember that?
I remember that video, and he's like, yeah, big heaping like glass of it.
Yeah.
It's like he's choking that shit down.
Do you remember that video of that? It was a mother who was filming her little. She must have been like 2 years old, and you could tell that she fucking hated his food, but she was trying not to hurt her mother's feelings. Like she would take a bite of it, and she was all, "No, it's good. Yeah, it's so delicious." She took another bite.
What is it? It's like that commercial where the kids make breakfast for them. We made you breakfast in bed. Oh, thank you. And then like the dad's like, oh, and he's like eating it. And then the wife's like, we don't have pancake mix. And
it's like the who are the major characters from that the James Wan series, The Conjuring. The Warrens. The Warrens.
Yeah.
The ghostwriter of one of their books said, if Mrs. Warren said that the sky was blue, I'd go out and check.
Elaine and
Ed.
Elaine and Ed Warren. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
No relation whatsoever.
They're his cousins.
None whatsoever.
First cousins.
and it's just some people just you don't really believe them, even when they're saying that their mother's cooking is fantastic.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and Dave Cernick says bone broth. Yeah, and it was collagen. It's like this collagen, this chocolate collagen mixture of like, so it's chicken bones. It's like like bird bones. It's so nasty. It's like, it was so thick when it was coming out. It's just like, yeah.
And like big chunks. It's so disgusting.
So nasty.
Anyway, let's get back to this shit show.
And it's really, it happens every single day.
Sir, he's not doing anything wrong.
He's not doing anything wrong.
Sir, I heard him say he would leave. Sir, I heard him say he would leave. I heard him say that. I came back out because I had a bad feeling about this.
No, you're making it weird. That's not obscure private property. You're absolutely right. I was not asking you. That's what I told you.
He's trying to get him to put his feet inside so we can lock him inside of a cage as he's shackled like a pig.
Does Chili not know what shackles are? Or?
I
Okay, just making sure. When's the last time you shackled a pig, Tony?
Well, I mean,
no, I can't say that I've ever had that dubious honor. It's it's not something I do that often, but this is, actually being in the vehicle is something that might actually facilitate his comfort and his safety, right? He can't be attacked by other witnesses. He can't be attacked by other people at the scene, and he is at least inside and inside in some sort of climate-controlled environment out of the sun. I don't know what's happening here, but this seems like standard procedure. If you leave the person with their hands handcuffed behind them, they are at the mercy of anybody who wants to attack them.
Right.
Anybody who wants to inflict violence on this individual is now able to. So you're now responsible for making sure that they're not accessible to random passers-by or people at the scene who might wish them harm. And one of the ways of guaranteeing that is to put them in a vehicle. I don't think that this is an entirely unreasonable extension. If you're going to handcuff the person's hand behind their back, putting them in a situation where they can't fall over and injure themselves and can't be attacked is an entirely reasonable extension upon that.
And here's the thing. Let's say this is illegal or a wrongful arrest or wrongful detainment or whatnot. You're not going to litigate that in the field.
Yes.
It's just not going to happen, right? You've already got your handcuffs on. You're going to be put in the back of the car instead of compounding the situation. And I know it's not just as simple as we'll just comply because, we've seen complicit people end up harmed at the very least by these certain situations, right? The police officers that fucking killed people in the field who were complicit in what they were being told to do by the cops.
Compliant.
Sorry, yeah. Compliant. So you've got to. What is it? What was it? It was in The Walking Dead. So if you got to eat a shit sandwich, the best thing to do is take a bite, chew, and swallow, and then take a bite, chew, and swallow.
Bite, chew, swallow. Just
right.
Get it over with. Yeah.
Just get it over with, right? And I'm not saying that it's cool, but so again, if this is perfectly, if this is illegal, if this is wrong, you take that up with your lawyers, your attorneys, and yes, you have that police officer reprimanded, whatever that reprimand might be. You know what I mean? Be it loss of his job, loss of rank, loss of whatever that may be. But you don't sit there and you're not going to win an argument in the field. It's just not going to happen. All you got to do is ask for the situation.
And can we honestly expect someone like Chili to know the difference between shackles and manacles?
No.
I mean,
Chili doesn't know the difference between
his asshole and an elbow.
Fucking asshole and a holing around. Blurful Dragon has become a new plot hole member. Thank you so much, Blurful Dragon. And Gia for $19.99 says, "Happy birthday, Johnny. Many happy blessings. I have shoes your age. You do not have shoes more than 10 years old.
They said, well, you got silence of the school. Then you showed up. And I said, I'm not giving you credit. You're not giving chances. You're gonna get a
He's not giving him any more chances.
Yeah, this is compelling. We can't hear what they're saying with one another.
Yeah.
Because the recording device doesn't have a good enough microphone.
I'm going to skip ahead to the other part because
I did tell you. I tried to walk away when you grabbed me between cups. I tried to walk away. I would walk away now. I told you more times. I'm going to walk away.
apparently he started talking about something
Video he
else.
released, and when he released this video, I knew that after I listened to it the first time, I listened to it a couple more times, and I knew that I wanted to cover it because the way the laws are presented here, and you guys know, all I really studied my whole time in this government process is constitutional law. And that's constitutional law and how the law applies. When the
Sure you did.
He is such an idiot.
What I do. So if you know how your constitutional rights apply, then you can use your constitutional
I just want to stop here. Because this is an issue that has been coming up recently in a number of different contexts, where people read something and assume that their understanding of it is correct, and is the only correct interpretation. This is the advantage that formal education offers, is that you can verify your understanding against what is actually considered correct through exams, through essays, through tests, through assignments. You get assessed on your ability to correctly understand and interpret what you have read. And the fact that Chile hasn't been through this process means that we have no reason to believe that his interpretation comports at all with reality, because he is demonstrably in error and indeed delusional about a great deal that he believes quite firmly. So, it's frustrating to me that people don't understand the importance of verifying your understanding against what is actual reality.
So the problem with him constantly talking about Constitution is that he ignores the 200 plus years of legislation that has been added to the Constitution, right? The fact that people's like, we want to talk about limiting rights. The First Amendment has been limited. It has. People don't like that, don't care. It has been limited. I can't say that JL fucks sheep while Tony makes a video of it. I can't do that, right? Well, I guess I can, because it's so far-fetched. No one in there, no one would reasonably be that to be true. But I can't say that, JL Warren steals Jason hockey masks every time he goes to a horror convention. Now, that could be true. That is believable. Not because JL Warren has a lot of Jason hockey masks.
But because he just looks like a criminal.
He just looks like a criminal, right? But see, those are things you can't, the libel laws, slander laws, defamation of character, etc. Yeah, no rights are absolute. That's absolutely true. Kind of funny how that works. But so this guy's, you got to understand, you're gonna reach, right? So look, we're all a bunch of toddlers in this country. We'll just keep reaching and reaching and reaching until somebody claps their head back and says, no, you can't do that anymore. And that's kind of what Cholito and all these other fuckers are doing, is that they are constantly trying to push the envelope, and then they get pissed off and they act shocked. Oh my god, they're clapping back at me.
And then they don't understand, when they get slapped down in court, they don't understand that this is reality telling them that their perception is inaccurate.
Right.
That they continue in this fantasy land where they imagine that they have a correct interpretation and understanding, without any external verification that this is the truth. And they're making money off it. Fine. But eventually, as soon as they get too antisocial, society will react. And they're putting themselves and the people they're claiming they protect in danger. They're not improving anybody's situation. I don't use, in a technical sense, the term dead weight social loss, right? Something that is only acting to harm society and does nothing good whatsoever. That's a very strict, very hard standard for somebody to meet. But Chile and these guys actually meet it. They don't do anybody any good ever.
Sandy D for $5 says Chile was doing that audit today instead of being in a Zoom court for Blue Bacon PO case, so he lost by default. Yeah, thank you for the $5 super chat, by the way.
But he tried to bring a protective order against Blue Bacon, or
no, Blue Bacon had a protective order brought against Chile, because Chile was on fucking YouTube talking about, I gave your name to somebody who wants to cause you harm. I'm trying to, right? And yeah, today was the hearing, and instead of being at the hearing, Chile's fucking auditing a police station or a courthouse, and he lost. So there's a protective order against him. I don't think he really cares. He's going to lose it anyways because, again, hey, court, here's what he's doing. Out of his own fucking mouth, here's what he's doing. So,
out of the mouths of idiots.
Yep.
Audit at the police department. So,
find the words.
Yep.
Find the words.
What are the words?
Welcome to Audit the Audit.
Did he seriously put a fucking disclaimer on there?
Audit the Audit did.
Oh, Audit the Audit did. No, Chile would never have the wherewithal to do that.
No.
So it covers lawful orders, traffic stops, and ghost tags. It is brought to us by 11 Alive's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On August 25th, 2022, two unidentified police officers from the Molina Police Department in Molina, Georgia, pulled over Chief Jonathan Hemphill of the nearby Zebulon Police Department. The interaction between the three officers was captured by the body-worn camera of one of the Molina officers.
Okay.
Say hello. Was that illegal? No, no, sir. The reason why we're stopping you because it's a 1% violation. I blinked my blue lights at you to let you know who I was. Yes, sir. Well, we didn't know with it. That's like
they stopped him for a window tint violation. Remember that. We're going to talk about that more in a minute.
Government tag. That is an unofficial tag. That tag not even on file. I see. Yes. Well, we have to catch up the bill to run and everything like that, sir. So I won't blink my blue lights at you next time. I'll let you just sit there. I was just speaking. I'm the police chief in Zebulon. Nice to meet you, sir. Matt Polk worked for me. Your chief worked for me. Yes, sir. There's no need to get upset. I'm upset because I spoke to you when I come by, and now you're pulling me over.
After the Molina officers pulled him over, Chief Hemphill got out of his vehicle and approached them before they had even exited their cruiser. Although the universal advice given by law enforcement agencies and civil rights advocates alike is for drivers and passengers to remain in the vehicle unless the officer asks them to exit the vehicle, it is typically.
I'm not really sure. And I thought about this today. I don't know what civil rights advocates would advocate that a police officer has control over you during any time, unless
civil rights activists. That's not what he said. You're right, correct. But civil rights activists will tell you, hey, do everything you have to do to survive the situation. They will tell you that.
So he's misrepresenting what civil rights advocates say, but the whole reason why the police and other groups will say stay in your vehicle is because you're currently stopped, and if it's a traffic stop, you've been stopped in traffic, and it's safer for you to stay in your car than it is to get out of your car, because now you're wandering around and there may be other traffic. There may be the best example I can imagine, and it's so rare, but you never know what can happen, was the officer who was talking to a driver, and they were parked like on the you've seen that video. They were parked on the edge of like the freeway.
Yeah, and he
was like, "Hey, how about you come out?"
Gets hit.
Yeah, he's like, "How about you come out of the car and let's go over here and talk over off the shoulder." And so the cop had her get out of the car, and they went over this. It's like because it's just safer for them to be over here because they were both stopped. Sure as shit, a truck, an 18-wheeler. Plowed through him and straight into her and annihilated both vehicles because the guy was trying to light a cigarette while he was driving and swerved over and took those out. But
Took
because
the cars
he got
out. Because he pulled her away. Yeah, I remember this one.
and that was the whole point. Was like, he's like, you know, where we're stopped, we're stopped really perilously close to traffic. Let's go ahead and get out and get over here on the shoulder just to be safe for both of us. And so, and sure enough, it's rare, but it can happen. That's the point. So
this is the point that Chile often overlooks. There are a lot of ways for a situation to become dangerous and to be dangerous, and the police have to act in such a way that is going to maximize the safety of all of the participants, or at least that's how they're supposed to act. And having multiple people wander around on the side of the road is just not safe. It's also not safe for the police officers to have somebody who can adopt, you know, I was actually astonished by this guy's body language because he was keeping his right hip and his right hand hidden from the police officer as they were coming out of the vehicle. That's an extremely threatening posture to be in for a police officer. If that man has a weapon holstered on their right hip, the police officer has very little time to react to it once it gets drawn. So this guy is acting in an incredibly unprofessional and unsafe manner, and he's actually quite lucky he hasn't been violently subdued already in this brief interaction. If he were somebody that the police did not know or had reason to believe might be armed and hostile, I'm pretty sure they would have reacted a lot more adversely to the way he approached them. Because it's just astonishing that he got away with that. He's as Stevie says, he's lucky he didn't get tased or shot, because the way he aggressively approached the camera and then turned his he was standing with his right side away and his right hand out of view, and you're just going, look, that's incredibly dangerous. And you know, sometimes innocent people end up in cuffs. Yes, that's true. Sometimes bad things happen. That's true. But if you don't act in this way, if you don't keep people safe, worse things happen. Lots of police officers get killed or whatever. And you know, it's unacceptable. The risk to the police and innocents and other people is reduced by police procedures. Sorry, excuse me. I have to go, but I'll be back in a second.
All right. Wonderful Dragon says, plus Chili says, so the cop thinks he has control over you. Well, yeah, he does have control of you while you're stopped. Absolutely.
It's called detainment.
Yeah, you are temporarily detained. That's the way that works.
He's currently he's currently live on his channel reviewing his own content.
Oh yeah, we can get there. I think that's what we're looking at now. Let's see here.
I discovered they plant the gun during the live video that I'm just, because remember, I went there and demanded the body cam footage, and then they released the body cam footage. And then when I'm actually watching live.
Me too, Charlie.
Right, you bleeding?
What happened there? There it is. See the timestamp? You can just see it. 5:35. 15 minutes 36 seconds.
We're watching a video of Chili watching a video of Chili.
16:37. I guess he unloaded another round into him because remember, the coroner said he was shot 28 times. We only hear of 14 shots.
So this is the
runs and grabs a shield. The man is that's the same. That's what I go.
The gun's in the floorboard.
Oh, what? Did he just throw the gun in? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Watch. They're blocking the body cams. Watch.
The gun's in the floorboard.
What was that? Holy shit.
What was what?
I have no idea. What the hell is he even?
We just see the plant? Holy shit.
So anyway, at this
What?
Sorry, my lunch just arrived. But
I have no idea what's happening.
yeah, we're seeing a demented conspiracy theorist imagining things. That's what we're seeing.
Yes. So apparently this is evidence of a plant. Charlie Welch says this is a sign of desperation. Nathan Oakland is down to debating against old recorded videos. Oh my God. Wow.
Wow. Gotta go. When you gotta go back to the well, but the well is your own.
Yeah.
The well's the one you dug for yourself.
The well you dug for yourself and shat in.
In defense of Chile, perhaps he's suggesting that this entire exchange confirms that he is a plant.
Yes. Aaron Reese asked a good question. How many times has Tony said antisocial so far? I think I've counted 5.
Yeah.
So what video is he looking at? Like, is this was an officer involved shooting apparently?
Yeah. Don't worry, YouTube. We skipped out all the shooting part, so don't demonetize me.
Point, I lose my mind, and I absolutely have to break it down further. And so I pull it out on Premiere and I slow it down, and you can see that they definitely put something in there. So my dog is.
The dog looks miserable. He looks like he needs saving. Somebody help Charlie.
Dying for his attention and for a walk and some love. So I'm probably going to do that. But I wanted to just stay in here with you guys for a little while and just show you guys, Audit the Audit does a really great job of painting the laws that are put upon us in black and white. And I feel like because there's no slant, that you have to really look at what he presents and take a look at all of the case law, because you probably didn't know previously that the holding says that you have to be considered armed and presently dangerous to be ordered out of your car under the Pennsylvania versus Mims holding. And then I didn't even get into the dissenting opinions because I've had a long day and I want to actually, that was my little chart.
Yeah, but the dissenting opinions don't mean shit. Dissenting opinions are there in order to indicate that, yes, that there are these alternative, these kind of like interpretations. I mean, when the Supreme Court rules on something, you will read the dissenting opinions of the other justices. But if it passes with a passing vote like 6-3 or whatever, right. I mean, that's it. I mean,
the dissenting opinions, they're nice to read. That way we can read why whoever was Scalia or Alito or Sotomayor says, no, I disagree because, all right, that's cool, but. Hey, what's up, Welsh News Network? But yeah, I'm sorry. Nobody gives a shit about dissenting opinions. It doesn't have any bearing on the actual outcome of the ruling. Fucking idiot.
Oh, cool. And a lot of you guys are doing the intermittent fasting. I'm really it's really cool. There's a lot of you guys who are doing the intermittent fasting, which is really cool. I mean, I taught that one thing, and you guys.
You didn't teach shit. You read out some shit you can find on fucking Google.
And you want to know something I've thought about, considering he's gone into this, and it's such a from left field move for him, because it's like, oh, I'm going to start doing this. The whole but I remember that there was a live stream that he did where he was talking about that essentially I think marries two concepts. It marries his need for people to give him money. It marries his grift with this idea, because there was a stream where Chile told people that they should give money instead of eating, and they'd be better off not eating because that fasting is a good thing.
Wow, that sounds like some fucking Jesse Duplantis shit.
Right. So I think in his mind, what he's doing, this is not substantiated. Obviously, I'm just speculating here. But I think in his mind, what he's done is he thinks that if he pushes nutrition and that fasting is a thing that people should be doing, then they will spend less. Insane Angel remembers that. Yeah. That they will have more money because they're spending less on food, and the odds that they'll donate money by watching his live streams will go up because they'll have the disposable income because they're not spending it on eating. That's where I think. Now, I'm not saying that it's logical in any stretch. I mean, but I think that's where his head
true,
is.
then, if it's not logical, it's probably true when talking about chili.
So, but I'm thinking that's where his head is. Is like, if I can convince them to do this, and I do this as well, and they do it as well, then they'll have more money because they're not spending it on food, and therefore they could increase the odds of giving it to me in super chats. You know, what they would have spent on a cheeseburger or on a coffee or on whatever, they'll spend on me. And I'm pretty sure that's the logic he's operating with.
That's insane. This guy's fucking just
starve yourself for me.
Starve yourself for me. You get down to that down to your church.
Why satisfy your biological necessity when you could give me money?
Lady Firebrand says, what is the next soft Sid miracle water? Yep. Don't drink the water.
So you guys will see it over me for the next 4 or 5 weeks. It's really going to be cool to watch the change happen in what I'll go through. But anyway, yeah. So
there's a transitioning joke there, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Yes,
just pointing it out.
Somebody just said, Mr. Brightside said, yeah, Chili did say to skip 2 meals in order to donate money to one of his followers himself while on the way out to a birthday dinner with a friend. And then he was talking about how people would give him money, then he'd go out and he'd have like an amazing and use it to buy like an amazing dinner. And it reminded, and I was recently reminded of this because there was a pastor who literally in front of his congregation was showing off a watch that he bought. That was him. Okay, they're showing off the watch he bought that was the same as LeBron James. He's like, that watch looks pretty good on a black guy. I wonder if it'll look good on a white guy. So I went out and bought one, and there it is. Check it out. He's literally telling his congregation, I spent your donations on a freaking watch because I saw LeBron James wearing one, and I wanted one. And check it out. Be happy for me. Be happy that I bought this watch.
Yeah.
So
look, here's the thing. I don't do what you want when it comes to religion and whatnot, but these prosperity gospel preachers are all fucking con men. Every single one of them. Why is it that everybody who gives to these assholes is dirt ass fucking poor, yet they're fucking flying around in 4 or 5 $50 million planes, wearing Louis Vuitton underwear, bragging about their Louis Vuitton this, bragging about their several $100,000 watches and shit. Just like, fuck these guys. These guys are assholes. When people are out of work or been furloughed during the lockdown, we're telling them that, well, no, you still have to tie up to the church. It's like, come on, man. It's fucking ridiculous.
Come on, man.
That's
yeah. I actually did catch the angle in his audit today because he put the camera down and he's like, you can see his gut and his moves. He's getting flabby. He's getting soft. He really is.
I went back to the gym for the first time today since since my sciatica was messing up. I spent 2 hours in the gym. I'm going to feel that shit tomorrow. I'm going to be back again. Gotta get skinnier. Skinny-ish. No. I'm never going to be, man.
Huh?
I'm never going to be a skinny man.
Sure you can.
I just do what Chili does, not eat.
Go on Survivor.
But I think it's almost like
I will not be a
people who are just reporters in this specific sphere of influence in cop watching or First Amendment auditing. Everybody has their pretty important role, and even sharing and reporting video and commenting on videos. There is an important fair use aspect to that is relevant and real and important to be able to spread the accountability with transparency. And
find your words, bud.
Yeah.
There has to be.
This is what happens when you don't eat.
Here, where we absolutely.
He is saying spear, isn't he? He's saying spear. Am I hearing that right? Let's back this up for a second. I think he's saying spear of.
With transparency. And at the same time, there has to be the tip of the spear where we absolutely defiantly demand change where we won't ever, ever stop because we are relentless in our mission to change the freaking system. There has to be those people. And so when I look at these people, I think you are the people who actually want to change this system. And so that's why I think Audit the Audit is a good channel. He paints it so black and white that the laws are so ugly that you think to yourself, oh, it's this guy. Well, he doesn't do any favors by not having any kind of slant for liberty or for justice. But at the same time, he is reading exactly what's in there, but sometimes he misses some pieces that are super important. You guys just saw that. You guys probably think because of Pennsylvania versus News, you just have to get out of the you just have to get out of the car when the cop says so. I don't get out of the car when he says so. I say, do you believe that I'm armed and presently dangerous? But I didn't say presently dangerous last time. I said you have to believe I'm both armed and dangerous. That holding, as you read just now, armed and presently dangerous. Okay.
He's reminding me of Osiris Jackson in Tropic Thunder. What are you getting at with the books and scripts? Spit that shit out, man.
I'm flying. Woo, 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 flying.
What the
all right.
fuck?
All right, my friends. So good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Dragnet Transparency. I love Dragnet Transparency. Always go by there and check out the videos that she posts. I'm going to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on
Don't get close.
the next one. Later, Gators.
Don't do that. Don't get
Bye.
closer.
Oh, share the video. That'll really help because we're so shadow banned. Please share the videos.
You're not
No.
Look through and watch these videos.
You're not shadow banned. You just suck.
You know.
No, the dip in your algorithm, the dip in your viewership is because nobody's watching your shit anymore.
Well, the dip in your viewership is because you fucking violated a lot of TOS and you were fucking reprimanded for a 2-week suspension for that shit, you dumbass.
He's such a moron.
He's such a fucking ill-hole. Good Lord. I don't want to look at him anymore. He does this weird, creepy shit where he gets real close to the camera and
Johnny's like Monty Python. I don't want to talk to you no more.
Is he going on some sort of fast or something like that? Is that what I was getting from? Is he trying to lose weight?
I don't know.
Because it seems like he is more drug affected than normal.
He's advocating for intermittent fasting is essentially what he's doing. He's advocating for intermittent fasting.
My point is physiologically, if you intermittently fast but you don't reduce your drug use.
Oh, that's great. I didn't.
That's fucking brilliant.
Never drink on an empty stomach. Okay. It's not
Well,
gonna
that's
go good.
exactly right. Like, yeah, just.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was fucking funny.
Jeez.
Less food, more drugs.
Less food, more coke.
More cocaine.
That is the best part. Commander Darklight has nailed it. It's the best part about PhD Tony's humor. Is he's like super dry with it, right? And it works. The deadpan is great. I would love to see Tony and I would love to see you in a like a comedy duo with somebody who's wacky as shit, right? Like an Abbott and Costello, only like a Tony and Sam Kinison. That shit would have been fucking great.
I love it when Tony uses words that the other person doesn't understand. Like, because one of my favorite clips was from when he was talking with Chili when it was team doing the big stage, and when you called him mendacious. And you see his face, and he didn't know what that meant. It was like, because for a brief moment, because you call it, and you said it so effortlessly. It was just like this, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And then he heard mendacious. It was like he's like that hit. And it was like does not compute. Like he's straight
Oh,
404'd on the.
Yeah,
He's 404'd on that word, and he's like, this is like, would you like to add to the dictionary? Would you like to add it to the?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It was red line.
And then he tried. Then he said it. Then he tried to use it back at you, and then, or he tried to like say like use it, and then he used it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So.
Just trying to guess what it might mean. Yeah.
Does it mean this? Like, no, that's not what it means.
It's always good to have those. It's always good to have those. Yeah,
oh, my
just
beard.
just words at your disposal to be able to lay bombs on people. You do look kind of like a bald Santa Claus. You look like
my beard is out of fucking control today.
Well, take care of it. Like,
I do take care of it. Sometimes
dude, you
it
look
just
like
does,
you look like fucking Chili's dog.
Sometimes it just does what it wants, man.
True.
that was a movie that I was going to try and make an effort to see, but I think it might be out of cinemas now. Is it Violent Night?
Oh,
Violent Night with David Harbour.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looked funny. I don't know if it was any good or not, but
it was fantastic. The thing that convinced me was when he's like, here's a stocking stuffer, and he shoves a grenade in his pants, and then he runs, and then he stops like, what am I doing? I've got to watch this. And he turns around and looks at it. I was like, yes. Oh, what am I doing? I've got to watch this. And I don't want to spoil anything about the film, because there's actually something really cool about the whole Santa Claus thing that they introduced in the movie. So I don't know if I don't want to spoil it for you, but when you see it, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's well, then you've sold me. I'll pick it up as soon as it becomes available on DVD.
Sweet.
Or Blu-ray. But yes, it just Chili's behavior just seems to be becoming more weird and erratic. That entire I'm flying thing.
Yeah.
I
don't understand why. Yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah.
Like that, and normally he has. On the other hand, he does constantly do shit like this. Like when he walked into the. Was it on Irish Demon earlier? He was doing this audit where he walked into a public bathroom and caught sight of himself in the mirror, and then there was.
I saw that.
And then there was just this big reaction, and you just go, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You haven't even checked that this bathroom is empty. In fact, there could be people in here trying to take a dump, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?"
There's a lunatic in the bathroom.
So
flexing in front of
Miguel
the mirror.
said that he's trying to convince his audience he is feeling wonderful. Now he might be a little loopy. So here's the thing. Not because of Chili, because that guy's an idiot, but I have toyed with the idea of a 7-day water fast.
Oof, that'd be rough. You're. I can tell you this after doing it on a dare one time, just to see if I can do it, kind of like challenge myself. After about 3 days, your cognition really starts to go. When you don't get those essential nutrients and everything that you need. For some reason, your thought process just does not click like it used to.
So I used to, when I was much younger in high school, I would observe Lent, and I would actually fast for 40 days and 40 nights. I did it one time where I think I maybe had like 5 meals during the whole period of Lent, and I was playing basketball at the time. Fuck me running. You want to talk about feeling stupid. Not be able to answer questions, not be able to
Yeah. So it's
and I remember catching one of his nutrition strain. It's not nutrition for anybody who watches. It's not, but essentially what he's advocating for, because he's talking about is intermittent fasting and getting into ketosis. But he's utilizing the wrong terms, and he's actually talking about just starvation, which is autophagy. And autophagy is what your body is doing when your body is devouring,
eating itself,
is essentially eating itself because it's in starvation mode. And what he's talking about. If you did what Chili said you should do, then your body would go into starvation mode, and as anybody in this live chat will tell you, your body will begin to hoard every calorie that it can. And so because it doesn't know when it's going to eat again. The point of intermittent fasting is that you train your body in order to get into a particular state where you're burning more calories for energy, and then you eat again. So there's a very specific way to do it. What he's talking about just straight up is just starving yourself. Just go into starvation mode and then eat very little.
And
so
that won't work because in starvation mode, your body does not consume the fat first; it consumes your muscle first.
Because that's what has the most nutrients.
So
go ahead. Sorry, Tony.
So it's a bad way to lose weight. So anyway, it's a everybody in the chat has been saying, and I can't agree strongly enough. You do need to have a healthy diet. You do need to be making sure that your intake is appropriate. You also need to be engaging in an exercise regime that is appropriate to your age and physique. Don't do anything faddish or fashionable or this sort of nonsense. An Atkins diet is okay, but they're not trying to starve you. They're just trying to cut down on carbohydrates.
Right. Dave Cernick has asked, would that work for Glenn Serio? And it's like, here's what's really, really funny is that if Glenn Serio were to actually go into a nutritionist's office and get tested and get like the blood work done and everything, I think most likely Glenn Serio you'd find that he's malnourished. As weird as that sounds, is that the reason he is the way he is, the reason he is the size he is, the reason that he looks the way he does is because he doesn't get the nutrition he does and his body is in a consistent state of starvation. Because any of the good stuff it needs, it's going to hoard onto. It's going to hold those calories because it doesn't know when it's going to eat sufficiently again, and that's why he looks the way he does. If he regulated his meals and he ate the correct stuff, the problem is he's homeless and he doesn't make any money. He barely makes any money, so he can only eat the cheapest possible food, which is going to be processed fast food all the time. It's not like he has a kitchen that he can go to and cook meals and go to the grocery store and buy like nutritious food. So he eats crap, and because he doesn't eat that often, his body's constantly starving, and that means he's never going to lose weight. Even if he stopped eating completely, he wouldn't actually lose it. He may lose a few pounds, but the minute he started eating again, he'd gain even more weight. So because his shit is all fucked up.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I went into McDonald's for the first time in years and ate a meal, and I just felt so ill afterwards. It was just this, there was some sort of lead weight in the bottom of my stomach. I was just like, oh, holy
That was a hamburger as it was forcing itself to
I can't even imagine it would be like. It was, people talk shit. People, or I would say Jennifer Aniston got a lot of shit when she was with her husband. She was with Justin Theroux, and they were traveling. And they were both hungry, and they were actually traveling by car. They opted to travel by car in between, so it was a long drive. And they both wound up, they were hungry, they didn't have anything to eat, and they was like, we got to get something. And the nearest place they could stop was a McDonald's. She'd never had it before. She's like, I'm going to go ahead and try. I'm going to get this. And she ate a Big Mac. And said that about 30 minutes after, she had never felt so ill in her life.
Yeah.
Just from the quality of that food. And so, and you imagine, and people gave her a lot of shit for it. It's like, well, people eat McDonald's all the time. It's like, well, you look at something like her with her very restricted diet and what she eats and what she puts into her body and the tool that is her business, which is her body, putting that toxic crap in her is, no doubt it made her ill as shit.
Yeah. I used to eat McDonald's all the time when I was young. And now I don't think I'm ever going to eat it again, not voluntarily. Like that shit is noxious. Yeah. Anyway, It's in fact, he says nice tool. Which I'm inclined to agree with. But it's a you do need, diet is something that is underappreciated. It's important in our health, and there are still a lot of things that we haven't really scientifically established about human metabolism and its relationship with diet. But at the same time, you need to get your advice from people who are actually qualified.
Nutritionists, yeah.
What happened to the Subway diet? Hypertension.
Well,
That's what happened to the Subway diet. Hypertension.
What happened to the Subway diet is it was bullshit to begin with, right? So
That's true.
The former spokesperson for Subway, whom Subway should, well, whatever, neither here nor there. Anyway, what this guy did was vastly unhealthy. He consumed 1,000 calories a day and greatly increased and was burning something like 2,000 or 3,000 on top of that because of his walking, which again, it's, activity and then whatever, limiting, having a caloric deficit is the only way you're going to lose weight. But that's not the kind of caloric deficit you need to do. That is extremely unhealthy. All the doctors are like, don't do this shit. You will probably die. The fact that he didn't die.
He was known for his unhealthy lifestyle choices.
Very much so.
Yeah, that's what got him the gig in the first place. But there's a bunch of comments in the channel. We all know what happened to Jared. Okay, let's and let's stand up for Subway a little bit. They didn't attempt to just say no, that's all in the past. It's only a minor thing, etc., etc. They dropped him like a hot potato, which fair enough, they could do with very little cost.
But it's been reported that they were well aware of his.
They dragged their feet. They dragged their feet. It's when it went public. When it went public, that's when they dropped him.
Yeah,
but they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's very, very bad.
Yeah.
But
he went from eating 6 inches to 12 inches.
I think we need to. Jail rape jokes. Why wouldn't they be funny?
Prison molestation humor. Why not? We go there.
And it's I kind of think I've been thinking on this a lot recently, and I kind of think that we're in a capitalism is in a death spiral with advertising and media agencies. And we kind of need to find a way to short circuit this, because Kanye West coming out about how he can say all the anti-Semitic shit he wants, and Adidas can't drop him. Well, Adidas should be able to drop you just for the first thing, just for the DEFCON 3 tweet. Yeah. Frankly, Adidas should have been able to drop you right then. Just go.
Are you calling it Adidas?
Yes.
It's Adidas,
isn't it? We're not getting into the proper way we're supposed to.
No, it's Adidas, isn't it?
I think it's. I think it varies, depending on who you talk to. I don't know. I don't know.
Of origin.
I don't know. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. I thought it was Adidas, and he's calling it Adidas. And I'm like, this kind of like people is like Nike and like Nike.
Nike, yeah.
So.
Dave Cernick for 5 Canadians says, good stuff, guys. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate that super chat.
Fred just says, oh, no, not this again.
Yeah, exactly.
Wally 77 and Neon Soul say that I'm right. So.
Yep.
Nacho Friend.
It's Adidas only in the U.S.
Yeah.
But
America. Oh, don't fucking Google that shit. It's not even worth it. What are you gonna win, JL?
No, I want to know. I thought I was gonna win anything. Adidas is a German company.
Yeah.
So it may be Adidas.
Yeah.
I'm still calling them Adidas. Adidas sounds fucking weird. Wow, it's good. No, I'm still, it just sounds weird.
Yep. Sandy D for $2 says Jared Subway is now a tattoo parlor. Really? Thank you for that $2 super chat. I appreciate it. I've had fun. So is Puma. Yeah, Puma is a German company. Very
Yes.
narrow shoe. I can't fit those things. I got a wide foot because.
Yes,
fat
I ordered
Are you
some
sure
of
it's
those.
not? Are you sure it's not Puma?
Tony, you ordered a Puma?
Well, yes, I ordered some Vessies online, and they turn out to be very narrow shoes.
Some what?
Vessies. You haven't seen those? They get a lot of advertising on YouTube. They're these completely waterproof shoes that you can get, and they're sort of. I wanted something that sort of looked okay with dress pants and was black, and these fit. But you order them over the internet, so you don't do a fitting. You just tell them your size, and they send it. And they turn out to be a bit narrow for me. I don't have particularly wide feet, but wide enough that they're uncomfortable in the Vessies.
It's not a Puma.
Not a Puma at all.
It's not a Puma.
All right, it's time to get out of here so you guys can go do your things. Like you got some Aussie shit I'm sure you got to do. Some kangaroo.
Yes, Aussie shit. Yeah, that's what I do with my Saturday afternoon is Aussie shit.
Some
There's
kangaroo
supposed to
needs
be a test match on, but been rain.
Like you'd be like Australian stuff. Like he's got a couple kangaroos he's got to kill, a couple emus he's got to wrangle.
Emu's probably gonna wrangle him because remember Australia.
He's got to get in his requisite cane toad quota.
Yeah.
Still, I'm not for animal cruelty or like that, but I understand that they're invasive. But that video of the guy just like, oh, I try to hit every single one of them every time I'm on a road. Him just like deliberately in his fucking lorry, just like swerving, just to hit the fucking cane toads. I was like, because you see him like, and then all of a sudden, he just jerks the wheel over. Pow! It's like, oh, that shit just made me laugh.
Well, there was somebody. It made the news recently that somebody's dog is eating cane toads because they're a way for the dog to get high, and apparently the dog has become addicted to cane toads.
Oh, wow.
That's fucking hilarious. I don't plan on doing anything else tonight, Insane Angel. I wanted MC Toon to come on the channel, and I thought that he might. And I was thinking about doing a live stream with MC Toon and having MC Toon finally have the conversation I wanted to have with him for so friggin' long, but he keeps avoiding me. At this point, I'm going to assume that he's avoiding me because every time I ask, even if he's like, "Hey, I think I'm going on Friday." Then I ask on Friday, "Nope, I'm busy." I understand he's got a bunch of kids. He's got like a whole litter that he's dealing with. I love MC Toon to death, but at this point, I seriously think he's just straight up avoiding me. I think he doesn't want to have the conversation that I want to have with him. It's just me, which I don't blame him. You know, I get why, but I hope one day I will have him on the channel.
I found something that I want to show you guys, but I need to hang on just a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, yes, but I mean, it's one of the things that I think a lot of religious people are aware of is that maintaining religious belief requires some level of magical thinking. So, sitting down and actually being dragged over logical coals doesn't really mesh with how most people approach their religion. They don't, most people don't approach it with logical rigor or observational standards, because if they did, they'd abandon it.
To address what Ugly German True said there, it says, "JL, a lot can go wrong when two stubborn guys debate beliefs," and you are correct. But the objective with MC Toon, it would not be about debating his belief.
Go ahead.
Seriously?
Go ahead.
Just, shh.
Well, it was kind of funny. It was really funny how that worked out, but
the whole point is that what I'm curious about is, given his level of education, given the level of knowledge that he has, that he's attained over his life, how he's able to reconcile certain things with his faith. And does his reconciliation, generate inconsistencies or logical inconsistencies in that faith, and how he makes allowances for that, or how he deals with that? That's what I'm curious about. It's not so much, can you justify your Christianity? Because it all comes down to faith. It comes down to faith. I think faith is terrible. Faith is a horrible thing to utilize as a tool to find the truth in anything. It's ridiculous. It's irrational. But that's not the question. People can have faith. They cannot have faith. And I'm not going to sit here and dictate who should and who should not have it. My question is, how do you reconcile these things? Like when you say, okay, I hold this position, but I know this to be true, but I hold this position. These two would be logically contradictory. How do I reconcile that contradiction? Or do I just ignore it and be like, nope, I'm just going to be intellectually dishonest about it? Now, I don't think MC Tune is intellectually dishonest by any stretch of the imagination. But I want to find out how he does that. That's what I want, because he's never addressed it. So, go ahead.
Well, most of I had faith for 30 odd years, and maintaining faith. In my personal experience, I had to quickly let go of the exclusivity of Christianity as a correct religion, or the fact that simply not believing in Christianity was some sort of fatal sin. So to my mind, a good person is a good person, a bad person is a bad person. Religion doesn't really enter into it. But at the same time, faith can provide a lot of emotional well-being and support that you might not otherwise have available. So it can help you through certain emotional trauma that you might not otherwise be able to get through. And so this is why I don't want to attack people's faith, but I don't want to be beaten over the head with their faith either. I understand the value of faith, and I understand how it can actually do good for people. But there can be negative consequences, and those negative consequences need to be minimized, and the positive consequences need to be maximized. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Now,
to answer a question, somebody asked me a question. Somebody asked me a direct question in the deal.
You can
Blurple Dragon. And I'm putting the final nail in this coffin. No, I do not believe in ghosts.
Anyway, okay. So this is what I wanted to show you. I saw this on, obviously, TikTok, as you can see here, but I saw this video, and I'm thinking, holy shit, we're in trouble. Should we have to battle North Korea? This is why. Oh, wait, lady. These fucking people are insane. Look at this shit.
이 당의 품속에서 자란 조선인민군 군인의 힘과 지상, 혈기와 용맹이 어떤 것인지 만천하에 떨치는 일당백 전투원들입니다.
Like that one, whatever, but
우리 전투원들은 경애하는 최고 사령관 동지께서 안겨주신 담력과 배짱, 천한 무적의 억센 힘과 용맹을 더 원수들이 이 땅에 덤벼든다면 조국의 평온을 지켜 한몸 그대로 무쇠 주먹이 되고 번개 같은 비수가 될 굳은 교리가 가슴마다에 빗겨 있습니다.
I feel like this is supposed to be like Hollywood stuntman training. Look at this shit.
You see that disinterested look on his face because he knows it's bullshit.
Of course, you know it's bullshit, but it's funny to watch. This is some crazy shit.
I feel they led with headbutting concrete blocks. I think everything else is a letdown after that.
I think so.
But but they fell into various categories there, right? So some of those are old circus tricks.
Oh
yeah. The old sideshow stuff.
Yeah.
Geek shows and the like. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I get it. Jan,
let's see him headbutt a drone strike.
Yeah, there you go. Jan for 5 Canadians says, I didn't get my notifications. Sorry I'm late. Well, you're here, even though we're about to wrap. Thank you so much for the $5, which I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
I'm going to headbutt this Predator missile.
I win. PhD Tony, always good to see you. I saw your last video about science stuff. That was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
It was a few weeks ago, so I might.
Well, I have forgotten. Not because I didn't see it, because it's been so long since I've seen it.
Okay.
I've forgotten. And you use a lot of big words.
Yeah, well,
I keep having to pause and open up another tab.
Look at that word, and then I said, "Well, fuck! Now I need to go back and copy all the words and put them into." And then I could decide. It's like a full-on cipher that I'm working on. It's a PhD Tony cipher. That's what it is.
The PhD Tony dictionary is what we have.
Yeah,
the PhD Tony reference guide.
Right.
I've got it sitting on my desk. It's like, oh wait.
Yeah, I got to put another word in there. Yeah.
Oh, this shit makes sense now. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, and then I got to go back and look.
Then I got to go back
at
it again. Yeah. It's like, and then there's in the back. I'm working on a cross-reference thing, so that when I'll be, oh, okay, it goes back to that. So, good stuff. Good stuff. I'll be selling it for $4.99 in the store here pretty soon, so we can all have one.
All have one. Be able to decipher all the glacially isostatic adjustment stuff you talk about.
Yeah,
I've committed that to memory.
You have committed that to memory, and it's good. Very few people are aware of this, despite the fact that it's a pretty widely, it's a fairly widely influential discipline that other people regard as sort of an irrelevance that they want to go away from their data. But anyway, yes, thank you for all the well wishes from the audience. I appreciate it. I'll do my best to try and feel better.
Oh.
I think you need more whiskey. It's just
Tim Hicks said. Go ahead.
New Year's resolution to cut down on my whiskey consumption. So
Tim Hicks said, "Okay, in all seriousness, I'll be impressed when they get shot and keep moving." Then you need to check out what Japanese soldiers did in World War II.
Yeah, they were all jacked up on angel dust, though.
Because those cats, well, they also the wrapping their bodies in linen, wrapping their torsos in linen. That when it dried, it literally hardened around them and enabled them to take multiple shots without dropping. Yeah. They would drop, but it allowed them to get onto their opponent. It allows them to get through the gunfire into close combat. So It was pretty, and you can imagine our soldiers when they're in shooting these guys and they're not dropping. It's like bam, 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 bam. Oh crap, he's on me. So that's some scary shit.
There are multiple early 20th century examples for this in the Boxer Rebellion of 1901. The Chinese thought that they had developed techniques for iron robe techniques that made them immune to bullets. They were wrong.
Force multipliers.
But when American Marines fought against Filipino natives, they thought they came to the conclusion that their handguns were not sufficiently powerful enough because it required multiple shots to put down Filipino natives. So that was when the U.S. military adopted the M1911A1, as its standard firearm, the .45 caliber. So that's why the U.S. military switched to .45, because they were having trouble putting down Filipino.
Dang, this one doesn't work. Here's a bigger one. Now that will work. just keep going up. And eventually, you'll find a caliber that's fine. He's like, oh, this works. This works good, guys. But Johnny, before you sign out, I do want to address, because I don't know if Prince Jedi Master is still in the chat, and they comment to you, and this is important to me. So Prince Jedi Master at the plot hole. I love you, brother, but I feel as a Christian I'm being attacked because of my faith. Yet I never judge or attack others due to what they believe or not believe. And I know, and so I feel that's partly my fault. So I don't know if Prince Jedi Master is still in the chat, they may have left. But if they're not, if they are here, my objective is, I know that I can come off very strong at times when I talk about these things. The reason for that is simply because I've seen the damage that these things can do in real life. I've seen it up close and personal. I've had them happen to me. So I may speak a bit strongly about these things, or with a great deal of conviction. It is not my objective to attack people because of their faith. So I apologize if it came off that way. It's not my goal. My goal is to try and get to an area of understanding about how we reconcile these things with what we know about reality. So whether people decide to have faith or not, or whether they are convinced that a God exists or not, is not my concern. My concern is the effects that it has on our society as a whole, because while it doesn't apply to everybody, we can say that there is a significant portion of the population that have considerable power in the echelons of governments that believe these things, and they use it to their benefit and use it to influence legislation to their benefit, to the detriment of the planet. That is an irreconcilable fact of reality today. And so that's what we address. So because our survival as a species hinges on addressing these things, in my eyes, our survival as a species, our continuation as a species, hinges upon having these conversations. Yes, I take them very, very seriously, and I may come off a little bit, I may come off quite aggressive in that response. So I apologize for that.
The only thing that I take a harsh stance on with religion, not necessarily faith, but with religion, are the charlatans, are the fucking grifters, are the Kent Hovens and the Jesse Duplantis and Creflo Dollars, the prosperity gospel nonsense, because they are bleeding people dry, living lavish lifestyles on the backs of people whom they're telling they don't have enough faith because you're not giving the church enough. If you don't have what I have, it's because you don't have the faith. You aren't giving the money. You aren't sowing the seed and telling us all that, hey, well, it's seed-based gospel. Well, you sow this seed now. That way, whenever you die and go to heaven, your riches will be in heaven. Like, hang on a second there, Creflo. Your motherfuckers are in brand new Armani suits every Sunday. What about your seed sowing? Why do you get to have the spoils of this world and the afterlife that you're telling us about? Yet I only get what's coming in the afterlife, and I'm giving you my money.
Yeah, so there's a difference, I think, and I certainly hope that none of the comments that I made were interpreted as an attack on religion or faith. There are perfectly positive manifestations of faith, and there are things that some religions do, at least some religions do, that are positive, but there are also negative effects, and the religions have to take responsibility for these negative effects and act to minimize them. And it's their unwillingness to do this that kind of discredits the whole show. The institution, the welfare of the institution, suddenly becomes more important than actually doing good things. So people will do bad things in order to protect the institution that they think needs to be protected. And this is, where the institution needs to be held accountable, just like an individual needs to be held accountable, just like corporations ought to be held accountable, just like politicians ought to be held accountable. People ought to be held accountable for the consequences of the influence that they have used. So it's not specific to religion, I don't think. It's more general than that. But as a society, we need to find ways to make sure that, and I'm going to say this word again, antisocial activities are minimized and people are held accountable for them.
Exactly. So I don't want anybody to feel like they're being attacked, because I don't think anybody here would, go after you for being a person of faith. Matter of fact, all three of us here would fight for your right to practice your faith in any which way.
100%, yeah, absolutely.
So long as you're not hurting anybody else or yourself, we more than support your right to believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in. So
Aztec solar worship involving human sacrifice, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much.
Well, no, I mean, I'll support your right to believe in it, but if you want to practice it, don't come crying to those that, well, he advocated for it when they come to take you away. It's not going to happen, okay? So, I mean, just acknowledge the consequences of what you believe, and I understand. I agree with all this. The harm that is done is very apparent. I understand that a lot of these individuals give an extremely bad face on religion in and of itself, and of course on faith as well. And of course, these are discussions that I would love to have with a lot of Christians. I wish there were more Christians out there. I wish there were more theists out there that would rebuke the individuals publicly and openly and more often, because it says to do so in your Bible. I don't know why this is not a cottage industry of Christians calling each other out, because it could be. It's an untapped market. It doesn't need to be just us atheists that do it as well. I mean, other Christians could do it well. It says so in your book. But when it comes down to it, I want people to have as much information as possible. I want them to have as much correct information as possible, because the more true things that we know, the better decisions we can make for ourselves and for our communities. And so when we have irrational things, or we believe irrational things, and then the groups that we're a part of keep us from learning new stuff, like how you'll hear about how religious leaders will be like, college will just indoctrinate you, blah, 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 or getting more information, blah, 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 or how even the Bible in and of itself talks about the world is not for the wise. We're keeping its followers in, ignorant. That's the whole point, is that when you learn these things are unnecessary, you learn these things are not true, and they're predicated upon irrational things, people tend to leave them in the past, and they find their own path. So you can't do that and better yourself if you don't have the information. I want you to think. I want you to have it all. Have all the information, everything you can have access to, so that you can come to so you can see these conclusions for yourself. So that's the whole deal. And I would never want to attack anybody openly for it. Some people say that I get pretty passionate about it. That's only because I've seen the harm firsthand. Yeah. I've physically seen both the harm, the societal harm, and the death that comes from these things. And I'm shocked that there is not more action against it, especially from within the Christian camp.
Surrender Monkey asks a very important question. Says, I can still do eggs and bacon, though, right? Yes.
Fucking A.
Do eggs and bacon.
Extra crispy.
Skip Crasher, who's been a Plot Hole crew member for 13 months, says, hello, Johnny O, JL, and PhD Tony.
I just want to echo something that JL said. I want people to think too. But I hang out with JL anyway.
And on that note, if you liked those types of conversations, go check out this guy over on Bridge the Divide. You can also check the two of us out this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, A Week in Horror. We're going to be discussing some awesome horror films, Fallen being the best one of the whole bunch. Even though they say it's not a horror film. It is a horror film.
It is a horror film.
Damn it.
I wish I could get more debates. I almost had a guy who was with MC Toon who was like, who bases his flat earth position on like his biblical position, and I almost had a debate with him. I was like, I want to bring him on. I want to like debate this stuff with him. And he wouldn't do it. Like, I keep getting ghosted or just drop. Mostly they just like, it was like, yeah, or they just keep putting me off until they ghost me. And I can't understand why can't get more to come and talk to me. It makes me
It's
sad.
because you're too much. Anyway, that being said, it's time to go. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye. Finger guns.
Mr.
Hey.
Andrat says you can't end the stream. I guess he can.
I'll debate you. He's full of horror, man.
Is what? Wait, say it again?
Oh.
Oh, fall.